Welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of musical mayhem. And today, it is Friday. That means it is technically a 7-song Friday, but we're going to be talking about a musical, a true musical, one I have not seen for a long time, decades, several decades, like several times 2 decades, maybe. I don't remember the last time I saw it, probably in the 70s on The Wonderful World of Disney when it was split into 2 parts. It is the 1961 version of Babes in Toyland, which is based on the operetta of, let's see, 1903 operetta by Victor Herbert. This was released on December 14th, 1961, hence the Christmas theme at the end. Spoiler alert, spoilers, sweetie. And it runs 105 minutes, and it goes by pretty quick. I really liked it. I remember really liking it then, and I quite enjoyed it now. I'm not familiar with the operetta or anything, but the cast is fun. Many of the songs are very catchy, and it's just really. I just had fun. The budget was $3 million, and it made $4.6 million in rentals back in the day, in U.S. Canada rentals. So maybe not a big hit, but certainly wasn't the worst one in the world. However, before we get too much further into this, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this movie. If you like this one or the Laurel and Hardy version, I do believe there's newer ones out there. I don't know. It's silly, is what it is, and does not take itself seriously, which is quite nice. It also has several wonderful Disney effects in it. We'll see them. Let me know what you think. So, having said all that, let's get ready to not rock and roll, but listen to some music. One of the really good things about musicals like this is in 105 minutes, there's probably 20 minutes of musical numbers, especially in this one. There's like 7 songs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We're not going to have a poll. I can't do 15 songs, and they're pretty fun. Actually, overall, the songs are pretty fun. Be that as it may, we start out with a lovely little opening sequence here, and we get right. There's our co-stars. That's Tommy Kirk, who your humble agent has met many years ago. Ray Bolger, of course, was the Scarecrow in the 1939 Wizard of Oz. You, of course, know Annette Funicello. She doesn't even get her last name. Annette Funicello, Ed Wynn, who's amazing. Let's see. Gene Sheldon and Henry Calvin were both in Disney's Zorro movies, or Calvin as Sergeant Gonzalez, and Gene Sheldon played Bernardo the Mute. He doesn't talk in this here. Kevin Corcoran, that's his little brother Brian, was in Old Yeller, that sick doggy snuff film that Disney made. And yes, I can get a Friends reference into pretty much everything, although there's no dinosaurs in this one. So, and Mary McCartney plays Mother Goose, and Jillian, who's like 3 years old. Well, she's about 11, really, probably 10 when the movie was made. Gets a nice turn. So this is one of her first movies. There's your special effects by Eustace, and matte artist. So toy sequence. There's some stop motion in here. Directed by Jack Donahue. And here is Mother Goose herself, and she even starts out this 4-minute trailer that Disney.
Set free your imagination and come with us. Sylvester?
All right, boys, open the curtains.
So this is actually presented as a play, which is kind of unique. There's Jack and Jill. Let's get up here to the cast. Sylvester there is actually Jack Donahue, the director. How about that? He's not credited. Jack and Jill here are James Martin and Ilana Dowding. They've got their nice, they did fetch a pail of water. That's Jack B. Nimble, John Perry, who ends up getting his buttocks, well, his coattails caught on fire as he leaps over that tall candlestick. Fortunately, there's not a hole in their bucket. And then there's Jerry Glenn as Simple Simon the Pie Man, and the little boy in red, that is Brian Corcoran? Yes, Corcoran, who's the brother of Kevin, who's Boy Blue. That's Wee Willie Winky, who threw the banana peel there for Simon to slip on. He gets his comeuppance, though. There are stars: Annette Funicello as Mary, quite contrary, and pardon me, Tommy Sands as Tom Piper, Tom the Piper's son. Mary, quite contrary. Everyone knows that it's how her garden grows. So all these people are from whatever land this is. I'm trying to say it's not Toyland because we have. I guess it's kind of Toyland, but I don't remember. There's Barnaby's house. Barnaby was a crooked man and lived in a crooked house. Um, yeah, and he's played by Ray Bolger. Now Ray is so good. Obviously he's an old song and dance man, and this was only about 21 years after, 22 years or so after The Wizard of Oz, so he's in great shape. I think, as we'll see, that he would have made a great Joker. I mean, I love Cesar Romero, but I think that Ray would have been just as good as a Joker in 1966. There's his henchman, Rodrigo, and Gonzorgo, Henry Calvin, the big one in tight clothing, and Rodrigo, the silent one, Gene Sheldon. And the three of them have an amazing chemistry together. They look like they're having a great time being scoundrels, not as scoundrelly as Barnaby is, though. He offers them just a pittance for their services, and they turn him down. Then he opens up his treasure chest because he's got lots of money aside from being just generally awful. And the animated effects, and they lean forward. I just thought it was wonderful. So they sing their song, and then they go to pussyfooting about. This is we won't be happy till we get it. That's because Mary, when she gets married, is going to get quite an inheritance. So, and there is the children, all living together, I guess. And we have another a boring romantic song, and Tom gets knocked into the ground and then sold to a gypsy camp. They're supposed to throw him into the water, into the ocean, and drown him, but they get a double payday because they're greedy, and they sell him to the gypsies. And then Barnaby shows up and wants to says, I've got bad news for you. Well, Sylvester doesn't like Barnaby.
Walt Disney's first big musical motion picture, Babes in Toyland.
It's amazing to think that was their first big musical picture, and it wasn't a huge hit, but it got fair to middling reviews, some good reviews. I just remember liking it. And again, I haven't seen it for probably 5 decades. But they're just really, the whole cast knows each other and does really well. Here they're singing their song, Slowly He Sank to the Bottom of the Sea, which is really funny. And they're just drenching wet, and Rodrigo falls down into the water at the end. So Barnaby, of course, wants to marry her, and she flat out refuses him. And they have a little song and dance here. He actually dances with a water fountain and does a great job. I mean, and now Little Bo Peep, that's Angillian there, comes along and says, I've lost my sheep and I don't know where to find them. They did work in pretty much every fairy tale or folk figure that they could. And she's so little there. I mean, I remember from the 80s, I never watched any of her shows, I don't think. But, she got famous for being a very strong advocate for breast cancer because she had it. Dang it, Bobby. And that is, I forget who Bobby is there. Where is the, does it do his, no, I don't think he even gets a credit in here, but oh, Bobby Shafto, which is a song. That's David Pinson. But he says, yeah, they're in the Forbidden Forest. Uh, and that, pardon me, Mary does a song and dance about numbers being difficult. She can't make it add up, can't get the sum. Is that the name of it? I can't do the sum. Now, she's having problems with math, and I understand that because I'm having problems with math. And as Barbie would say in the 90s, math is hard, and Barbie's not wrong. Oh, away we go here. The children decide they're going to go rescue the sheep from the Forbidden Forest. Finally, the numbers don't add up, so she agrees to marry Barnaby. And the gypsies come to town because Barnaby wants to have a celebration. Little does he know. Oh, that's not the song. Little does he know that.
And with the comedy.
So that Tom Piper is still alive, dressed in drag. And he is Floretta there, the gypsy woman. It's the Forest of No Return, not the Forbidden Forest. Sorry. And he reads the poem of Annette, and then shows up. It's Tom. Now that should have been enough to have everybody run Barnaby out of town, don't you think? Whether she's got her frickin'
Of Henry Calvin and Gene Sheldon.
He sank into the sea.
Okay, but no, no. Barnaby's annoyed at his henchmen, and the children now have gotten into the Forest of No Return. They get warning signs. Where have we seen this before? Wizard of Oz. I'd turn back if I were you. That's pretty much the only one that we're missing. Forest of No Return. They thoughtfully left a very well crafted note there, and they're pussyfooting around here. The trees come to life and threaten the children, but they run away when Tom and Mary show up. They're all happy to see Tom's alive. The three miscreants are still hanging out there. I just like this. It's shot like it's really on a stage, like it's a stage play. So, song and dance again. They go to sleep. The trees say, "Okay, come on, got to take you to the toy maker." And the children are like, "We're going to take us to where toys are. Sign us up." And they go off marching away. There it is. That's a matte shot, of course. Probably a miniature there, but yeah, they're super happy. And the trees are like, "There you go, go." And now, well, we've got to follow them, figure out what's going on. Let's pussyfoot. Come, let's pussyfoot. So it's closed for alterations. There is the toy maker along with his assistant, that's Ed Wynn, and his assistant, Tommy Kirk. Tommy was a big name. He started a lot in a lot of movies with Annette Funicello for Disney until his lifestyle became more public and they kind of blackballed him. He would go on to make Mars Needs Women, which is not as much fun as the title would suggest, but it's not terrible. He's invented an automatic toy maker and shows the toy maker how to do it. And he gets all excited because it makes a doll. So then he makes a boat. And the toy maker gets all excited and pushes it toward gives it too many things to do, and it blows up. And it yells help even. It needs somebody. Help. Not just anybody. H is for hurry. E is for urgent. And I forget what L was for, but P is for please. Won't you please help me? Said old Fred in the Yellow Submarine. Fortunately, and he calls him an idiot, and he's just generally kind of mean to his assistant, which is, I mean, Tommy is Grumio. Grumio? Yes. And doesn't fire him, though. But he calls him an idiot. So it's a mess. The children show everyone's here, and they decide, what? If it's middle of October, they've got till December to make all the toys. Now, it seems like Santa might have an issue, a gimmick infringement here. But that's all right. Oops. I'm going to go back here. I don't know why it does that. There we go. So the children volunteer to make the toys. And you can see little boy Blue, and they just, yeah, everyone helps. They pitch in. Nobody wants to be a dentist. They're not just misfits. And look, they get it done in record time. But our miscreants are looking at everything they've gotten through. Now, why'd the trees not attack them? There he goes. Come, they're going to pussyfoot some more. Grubio has a new invention that shrinks things. Kazap. And now it's a tiny little chair. And at first, so of course, the toy maker goes overboard because he always does, shrinks his own bed, and then realizes they can't find enough grown up or big things to shrink down to little things to give to everybody as toys. And he's like, "You're an idiot." And he throws it out the window, and guess whose hands it lands in? The miscreant of all miscreants, Barnaby, who zaps the toy maker, who can now get in his bed. But that's a little model that just kicks around. It's not a. There's a mat shot there, very well done. And he's placed in a bird cage. And finally, Gonzorgo, and Rodrigo have had enough of this nonsense. They've taken all they can stand. They can't stand no more. They get zapped. And they get put in a cage. Tom Piper gets zapped, played by Tommy Sands, a dancer. He's pretty good in this. I mean, he's not nearly as smooth and well rehearsed as Annette. It doesn't seem to me. But he's not bad at all. And they just sent him there, and he's making the toy maker marry them. And the two now face-turned Gonzorgo and Rodrigo are now the witnesses, and Tom is the best man. Now, Edwin does a lot of funny bits here. I don't know if he made this up as he went along, but to stall him. And she's, yeah. Oh, for heaven's sake. Finally, Tom escapes. He has the Gonzorgo and Rodrigo help him escape. He summons the toys to life, and that's where we get the March of the Wooden Soldiers, which is the stop motion bit you'll see in the trailer. There they are.
Walt Disney's Babes in Toyland, revealing an exciting new world where anything can happen, and does. Presenting a fascinating formula for fun.
It is pretty fun. I had a good time watching this, and it was like a brand new movie again because I did not remember any of the songs or pretty much of the plot. Now, it does seem like two parts have been put together, the whole Forest of No Return, but it works enough. So they just keep bombarding old Barnaby there while everyone watches. You'll see a lot of this. There are some arrows shot in his tuchus, and Rodrigo, and he just keeps zapping people. So 2 zaps of the miniaturizing ray will make you fade into nothingness. And that's the captain going down with his ship. So lots of toys are broken. And yeah, he just keeps getting bombarded by air, land, and sea. And we get the whole, stumbling around. And Mary shows up and actually saves the day by shrinking Barnaby down to Tom's size. And we have a pretty decent fight scene here. You can tell that both of them have had fencing performances, or training, pardon me. I'd like to see Jill Barra talk about this. It's a short fight at the end of the movie, but I think she would have a lot of fun with it because from my novice eyes of fencing, they both look like they knew what they were doing. And I'd be interested, especially because he's using that interesting sword cane, that a crooked sword for a crooked man. But the fight's good, and they do, obviously they do this. Nobody gets stabbed or killed. But then the ray gets turned back on. I don't know if Mary's zapping people big here. And finally, they locked Barnaby in a box. Tom gets returned. Everyone's happy. I'm assuming that they made a bunch more toys again. And it's Christmas time. So guess who's getting married? It's not Jack and Sally. Sorry, Frog. You'll have had to watch all the way till the end to see that, to get your shout out. But it's a pretty interesting wedding outfit day. And little Bo Peep catches the bridal bouquet at 11 years old. Go figure. And look, Now they are in a sleigh, so I'm assuming that might be reindeer, which is why they can take off. So it wasn't, Grease did not originate that, nor did Arnie and Danny for Love You Tender. Got in a Friends reference and a Love You Tender reference there, Lilith. And that's the end. So that is the end of the show. I really enjoyed it. I haven't it just was fun. It was fun. I mean, yeah, it's silly. It is very silly, but the actors look like they're having a ball, and the direction is good. The lighting is good. The dance scenes are good. It's all just good. I don't know that I need to own it, but I liked it. I'm glad I got to review it. So, my fellow agents, until our next assignment, which will be going into the Old West in Italy, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
Set free your imagination and come with us. Sylvester?
All right, boys, open the curtains.
Walt Disney's first big musical motion picture. Babes in Toyland.
Toyland, dear little girl and Toyland.
Starring Ray Bolger. Bolger as you've never seen him before.
Your little Tom is quite close by. And I do mean your very little Tom.
Oh, no!
Tommy Sands and Annette. Living a love song. Hilarious Ed Wynn. With amazing Tommy Kirk. Kevin Corcoran. And with the comedy of Henry Calvin and Gene Sheldon.
He sank into the sea.
Give him a broadside!
Walt Disney's Babes in Toyland. Revealing an exciting new world where anything can happen, and does. Presenting a fascinating formula for fun with the world's most fantastic toy-making machine.
This is astonishing! Simply astonishing! A real doll!
And Babes in Toyland features 15 sparkling song hits from the memorable music of the great Victor Herbert.
Gypsies, we are the gypsies, and we are here today and not tomorrow.
Smiling eyes, silken hair, you'll need such loving care. You're just a toy.
We're an awful gruesome threesome, and we're rotten to the core. Of the jobs we pull, you'll see some that will make you hate us more. Where the larceny or murder makes no difference what's the crime. We'll forge a check or cut your neck if we can make a dime.
In our castle in Spain, you'll be living rent-free. Every capital gain you'll share with me.
Put down beans and cross out cake. Let me see, oh dear me, what a job to undertake. Milk plus bread, oh my head. Add, subtract, and multiply till you're overcome. This is much too hard for us. We can't do the sum.
Lemonade, let's have a lemonade. Fill your cup and join us in the grand parade.